Okay, people. So, yeah, back from the cinema, went to see Hellboy, the Crooked Man. Right? This is directed by Brian Taylor, which he co wrote with Christopher Golden and Hellboy creator Mike Mignola. The film is produced by Jeffrey Greenstein, Yariv Lerner, Mike Richardson, Sam Schutel, Robert Van Nordsten, Les Weldon, and Jonathan Younger. It's executive produced by Yaran Yep Ramayan, Gareth West, Trevor Schultz, Michael Milner, Julia Moutonfuring, Tanner Mobley, Mike Mignola, Avi Lerner, Lati Grubman, Arthur Goldstein, Boaz Davidson, and Krista Campbell. All right, it is co-executive produced by Christina Serafini, Lonnie Ramati, and Victor Hadida, with line production from Vesela Banzarukiova. Sven Faulkner took care of the music. Ivan Vastov was on cinematography. Ryan Denmark edits the piece. Nancy Foy took care of the casting. Orlin Grondavanov was production design. Art direction is Maria Duchieva. Eliza Banzakova was set decoration. Irina Kucheva, costume design. And our cast. Right, so Hellboy is played by Jack Kesy. His partner, Bobbie Jo Song, is played by Adeline Rudolph. We've got Tom Farrell, played by Jefferson White. His sweetheart, Cora Fisher, is played by Hannah Margetson. There is Effie Kolb, played by Lee McNamara. Reverend Watts, played by Joseph Marcel. Sarah, played by Carola Colombo. The farmhand, played by Nathan Cooper. And the Crooked Man, played by Martin Bassindale. Okay, so the gist of the story, parapsychologist Bobbie Song, who is tasked with delivering a spider to the BPRD, but must seek Hellboy's help when things go awry. Together they travel to Appalachia to take on the Crooked Man, who has been sent back to Earth to collect souls for the devil. So yeah, this is the fourth Hellboy film, right? You had two from Guillermo del Toro. I forget who directed the other one, but that was 2019, and I did not even go and see it. Didn't even go and see it. I was just like, no. I wasn't, man, I didn't even know Brian Taylor directed this one. If I had, I might not have done. I might not have seen it. Because he directed the Crank films, Gamer, Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance, and I hated all of those films. Now, he did co-direct them with Mark Neveldine. But even his films on his own, Biker, well, he didn't direct Biker Boys, but he was involved with it. Like, yeah, I don't know. But, you know, sometimes people that, you know what I mean? Like the cat that directed the Crow reboot, he directed episodes of Foundation, and that's great. So, you know, it's hard. It's hard. But this is based on the 2008 limited edition, it's a limited series, right? From Mignola, called the Hellboy Crooked Man. I've never read it. I've always enjoyed the idea of Hellboy. I've never read the comics. Never read the comics. I hated the two films, the first two films. I was just not a fan. Not a fan at all. This one, it's kind of odd, right? It's dark as hell, right? And not just because a lot of the scenes are shot at night or inside dark, dreary houses. I don't know, like the camera work is so dark that some things I just could not see. Right? There's a bit when they're looking at a bed and it looks like something's on the bed. I have no clue. Because the next thing I know, a squirrel, I think it is, comes into the room and does something on the bed to what was on the bed. And I was like, oh, I didn't know something was on the bed. Right? It was just so hard to see things, which is so weird. Such a weird choice to do. As I kind of feel, even with good eyesight, you're going to struggle with this one. Now, I will say it's probably my favorite of the Hellboy films, even though I haven't seen the 2019 one. And that's because it was kind of just dark and not, you know, not the visuals, but it's kind of going for that creepy horror vibe rather than just the weird kind of pulpy thing of the Del Toro ones, which a lot of people liked. It just wasn't for me, you know? So I like the fact that they went in that direction. Hellboy seemed all wrong, right? Because they're calling him Big Guy. Sorry, people. They're calling him Big Guy, right? But he's the same height, basically, as Tom Ferrell. So you got Tom calling him Big Guy, and they're the same height. And it's not like he's even broad. Like, his big hand isn't really that big. Yeah, it just felt like, I don't know, visually, they just didn't capture Hellboy that well. Now, this was a low, well, I say a low budget version. You know, it wasn't on the same scale as the previous three. So I don't know if they're just like, I mean, we can't really make a huge Hellboy, so let's just go with this, you know? Like, the horns, the red, all of that was there. But, yeah, like, height-wise, and even, I don't know, there was something weird about, like, the musculature of him. There's just, I don't know, there's something, you look at him and you go, there's something that's off here. You know, something's off. Right? It's, I don't know, they did a, you know, as I say, it's set in Appalachia and they're going after this crooked man and all of that. So they're letting this lore in. It's kind of like an old folk tale, essentially. like a Lovecraftian type of thing that they're kind of going for. There was that film, I think it's Pale Blue Eyes, I think, on Netflix. Yeah, so it's kind of got that vibe, but it's, I don't know. There's a lot of weird things. Like when they go after, like they're going to help these people, and it's all a bit kind of like, ooh, what's going on? But you would think if you're looking after people, they would be walking in front of you, not walking behind you. So you don't know what they're doing, if they're lagging behind, anything like that. But that happens, right? They're going into these creepy buildings. Now, remember, Bobbie is new to the whole setup, right? She's new to the BPRD. Lee is he's just a sorry Lee Tom. Tom is just a civilian. So you would think when you're going exploring, you'd stay in one group because the other people don't have the know-how, the knowledge to take care of things. But no, that's not what they did. That's not what they were doing, right? There'd be times when they'd be like, right, we've got a plan, we're going to go do this. But when they went to do it, it's like, it was all over the place. Like there was no plan. It was kind of bizarre, right? Like just so many things about it were just odd. It was an odd feel, you know? Like, I know you felt like they were trying to do some weird love interest in there, which, like, it wasn't clear, and you were just like, I hope they don't. Right? Because it wasn't like they were it felt like they were setting anything up, but a character was referencing this thing, and you're just like, wait, huh? What? Like, no, don't do that. That's just weird. And then there was all these other references to things in Hellboy's past, but it felt like a weird aside, right? Felt like a weird aside. Now, I think in the States, this is going straight to VOD. I can see, you know what I mean? I can understand why they may be doing that, right? Because it is a bit of a mishmash film, right? It feels like it's all over the place, which is an odd thing to say when I say this is my favorite Hellboy so far, right? Now, I think when there's good things from the other two films, but yeah, again, it's the let's just go horror, weird, creepy vibe. I think that's the way to do it. You know what I mean? But all the other stuff, like Taylor was using this real, like, quick editing in places, right? Where you just like, boom, just real sharp cuts. And it felt so out of place because it wasn't all the way through. Just every now and again, you get this thing happen. So it was jarring. It was a weird kind of thing to do, where you're scratching your head like, wait, what's happening here? Couple that with the darkness of the scenes, right? The inability to see things. It just fucks with the flow. Really fucks with the flow. The Crooked Man. It was a weird villain, right? A weird villain that Like, they set him up, they give you this backstory, but it's just kind of, yeah. By the end of it, you're just kind of like, okay, wait, that was right. Oh, all right, if that's what you're doing. You know what I mean? You're kind of just scratching your head like, uh, yeah. So it's an odd one. It is an odd film. I think there's things to like about it, but I don't know if this is going to restart the Hellboy franchise. I don't think it will. You know, I don't think this is gonna have people being like, let's make more. Right? Let's make more. They might make another one, but I think it's gonna be a chunk of time before they do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, there's definitely worse films out. You know what I mean? And it all depends what you like, right? I mean, trying to think of some films that are just like, I mean, if you like the previous Hellboys, you might enjoy it. You know, if you like Hellboy as a character, you might be like, yeah, I'm gonna go see that. Um, yeah, I don't know, people. It is it. You're not gonna be talking about it. You know, I mean, to be fair, right? I didn't really enjoy the recent, Beetlejuice. So, kind of feel if you like that, you might like this. If you like The Crow, yes, if you like The Crow, you will probably like this, right? If you like Borderlands, you will probably like this. And yeah, that's as good as I'm getting on the comparisons, people. But Hellboy, the Crooked Man, is out in the UK. I believe it hits VODs in the States on the 8th of October. So, yeah, Hellboy, the Crooked Man.